Hello everyone, this is Dave here at Moonride. Today we're going to do something completely different. This will not be channeling about the future. This is really a channel just for those who have suffered some kind of abuse or assault, right? This video might be very, very triggering for some people. It might be extremely upsetting, and you might not want to watch it right now. A different day might be a better time for you to see this. I just want you to trust your inner guide to tell you whether now is the right time to watch this. Also, as we go through this, I really have to ask that there's someone you can talk to about this. I would love to talk to each and every one of you about this, but it would be physically impossible, right? So if you've got a therapist you could talk to about this, or a good friend, somebody that you trust, that is imperative before you move on. Again, I could not possibly speak to all of you, but if you happen to be that person that's out there and there isn't anyone who will listen to your story, please send me an email and I will take a look at it. And don't do this video until I have responded and we are in some kind of correspondence. Look, I know I'm taking a big risk here. I could get 15,000 emails and I couldn't respond to all of them. So I would request that if you're a person who has somebody that they're going to talk to, if it's not absolutely essential, please reserve the space that you would have to contact me for those people who absolutely need it. I don't want to disrespect anybody and say, I'm not interested in talking to you at all. That's not what I mean at all. It's just physically not possible for me to respond to every single viewer, right? Now, I bring this up for many reasons. Lots of people were very much triggered by Blasey Ford's testimony that reminded them of their own abuse. I'm getting many, many requests along these lines, and I understand that some people may not necessarily be able to afford someone to help them through this, or may not be in a situation where that's appropriate, right? So, one more thing that we need to do is dedicate this to Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. I just want to say to you, if you're watching, if not, maybe your higher self is watching, thank you. Thank you for what you did for our country. Thank you for your bravery, your honesty, great behavior, and, well, just thank you for what you've done. I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. Right? So, moving on from there, if you are some kind of troll and you want to send some nasty message to me, that's fine. I do not care. I can take it. Believe me, I've taken worse. But do not mess with my viewers. If you mess with my viewers, this is an official hex. And if you doubt my powers, again, fine. But I advise you not to doubt spirit. All right? Without too much more time, this might be a moment for you to just tell me what happened to you. I know I'm not really there, but it's okay to just pause and say in detail exactly what happened to you. All right. Thank you for telling me that. I want you to know that I believe you, and I'm really sorry that happened to you. You didn't deserve it. Now, I'm going to ask Channeling to come in, the man in the moon, and see what he has to offer you right now in this time. Spirit, what can you tell people who have suffered any kind of abuse? Hmm. Okay. just let the energy that is coming through here, let it heal you. The channel is going to go right through to you where you're sitting right now. Let that energy flow through to you. Let it flow. Let it all out. If you feel like crying right now, whatever you need to do right now, you just do that. And at the same time, just allow the energy of the light that we're speaking of. You might imagine it is a circle of fire above your head. Let that energy just seep down around you like a circle. And let all of the stuff, let it out. Just let it out and give it to Spirit. Let Spirit take it. Just let it out. Okay. Now I want you to feel this love here. It is love without judgment, right? Mm. Spirit's just pointing out that, people sometimes have really difficult lives here on the planet Earth. They learn a lot. And they're very much heroic people that they have taken these things on in their lifetime to experience it. Do not misunderstand. You did not choose this per se. You have a life which is rich and full, but you did not exactly choose this. It's just something that has happened from which you might learn. Don't place the blame on yourself. That's not appropriate. But what can you do? What can you get out of this? Well, sometimes there's a horse with the leg that's lame, and people think they can't cure it. But you know what? They can. They can. And those people who are cured of this, they go on to be the strongest people. They go on also to be the people that listen to others and heal others. While it is horrible that you suffer in the way that you have suffered, the upside is that you can carry this knowledge and bring it to someone else. And in some ways, at least, it brings you closer to another member of your community, another member of your society who you might never have connected with. And it allows you to listen to them, it allows you to understand them and give them sympathy. But we understand there is no justification for the abuse you have suffered. It's hard to accept sometimes that you live in a good planet, that you live on a good earth, that humans are okay. But part of the process of discovering that humans are okay is by seeing how they're not always okay. That sometimes they're awful. And sometimes they're awesome. Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes they help you and they care. And they do what they do just for your benefit. There are people out there who are completely willing to help. There's no agenda that they have. They just care about you. Right? That is what we need to understand. It's really hard to get over the awful thing that may have happened to you. But the ideal way is for you to move towards love. That is love of yourself. Do not criticize yourself. It is not productive right now. Move on to love. Self-love. If there's a child in you that needs to be met and loved, then you must meet that child and embrace them. Have a dialogue with the child that is you, right? You can see them in an image if you choose to and have a conversation with them. That child right now might be working against you because you've excluded them from your life, right? And they will be kind of sabotaging the things that happen. If you have this dialogue, if you start accepting the child who was a victim of a crime, then you will find that as you accept that portion of yourself, your life will just get better. They'll be working on your team. So definitely spend some time having fun. Go and do something that you really love and enjoy after you see this video. Contact that child and ask them, what does he or she want right now? Maybe they want an ice cream sandwich. Maybe they'd like to walk by a lake. Maybe they'd like to read your favorite book. You give yourself some time to do that, okay? Give yourself that. Do that a lot, not just once. Do that all month long, every single day. Find some time for yourself where you can just be you and have a good time. And do not allow anything to get in the way of it. Don't allow someone to tell you you're not supposed to have it. Don't start answering texts and emails because that's so important and you got to stay current. No, you've got to spend some time on your own doing stuff that you love to do. It could be with another person too, but you've got to be enjoying your life. Otherwise, it's just going to keep gnawing at you and be destructive. That might be the hardest thing that you do today, is spend just 5 minutes having fun. But that's an assignment, right? That's not optional. You could just tell yourself you have to have some pleasure today in a way that's constructive. Don't do something crazy and terrible. Don't go get drunk. But definitely, something nice and sweet and wholesome and fun, like reading a book. Spend some time for yourself. It wouldn't hurt to write about your experience, even if nobody ever reads it. Write out exactly what you want to say. Write it out and then write it out again if it's not good enough. You might burn the letter afterwards. Maybe you do want to send the letter to someone afterwards. Go into nature. Spend time in nature. You could try to get to some place that has water in it. You don't necessarily need to jump in the water, but if you put a little bit of that water on your forehead and just touch yourself, you'll be connecting. You'll be really connecting with your spirit. Ask the universe to take care of it. If you go into nature and you say, if you want to use the word universe, fine. If you want to use the word God, fine. If you want to say anything, it doesn't really matter who you address, but just say it. I need help right now. I need somebody to guide me right now. I need some relief right now. Please send this to me. Send me what I need, whatever it is. Feel free to verbalize it. You could verbalize it in the living room right now if you wanted to, but if you go into some natural place and you say it, it will feel a lot better. It will feel like the universe is listening maybe more if you do it in that way. It doesn't matter, but the fact is the act of doing that, the act of saying, universe, I need help, and it looks like this. It looks like a friend. Can you send me this friend, please, now? Right? You might ask the universe the question, what should I do about this right now? And then wait and see if there's some signs. What happens? There's a wonderful future out there for you. You might be thinking right now you're at the bottom of your life. You live in a country where, democracy seems to be fading. Perhaps you watched this, experience with Blasey Ford and it felt like it was you who were going through all that. And again, nobody listened to you. And again, you were told that they didn't believe you, right? That's the feeling right now. But understand, half the people did believe her in that Congress, and that Congress isn't representative of the American people. Half of those people did. They didn't do that for Anita Hill. Some of those Democrats voted for Thomas, but none of them voted this time around, right? So we are getting closer, and your future beyond this moment is going to be totally different than the present. It looks beautiful. It's brighter. There are people there who are listening to you. There's a breakaway moment where you're going to own your own experiences and they will become yours. You will have the power of them. You will have the power of deciding who you talk to about this. You will have the power of deciding what is the meaning of this in my life. You will have the power of writing it down. You will have the power of saying, I will not let this happen to anybody that I know, and I'm going to take whatever steps that I can to stop this from happening to someone I know. Whether that means by telling the truth in appropriate ways, maybe that might mean just listening to someone, maybe that might mean you're setting the moment out right now of honesty, of listening, of truth, and you're saying that just by watching, just by being, just by listening. The future looks really good. It looks like we're going to come out at the end of this and we're going to say, hey, we did this. We went through this horrible, awful process where we had to relive all of these problems. But you know, at the back end, I just see this beautiful lady. I just see that this, and it's symbolic. It's like, here's this woman and she's standing in the middle of the park and she's so confident and she feels like she owns it, and here comes this man and he's right next to her and he's her friend and she can trust that guy and he's backing her up and he's saying, I believe you, I listen to you, and I'm gonna really work with you to make sure that others don't suffer this. And we're not kids anymore. We're getting stronger, and we're getting control, and we're getting to really understand the meaning of our lives. And we're getting beyond these materialistic things where we only care about money and power and the way people look. We're getting beyond that. We're getting closer and closer to who we really are, to our spiritual selves, to our spiritual meanings. If there's one positive thing that might happen out of this, is that it is compelling us in a certain direction of self-understanding and self-awareness. That does not mean that whatever happened is okay. And it doesn't mean that the people who perpetuated it are in any way okay. But we can take something out of this and turn it into gold. Like alchemy, we can take what happened to us and we can make it into something that helps all of us and brings us all closer to truth and understanding. Think of the courage of these women like Blasey Ford, and she's not the only person. Think of all of those people, men and women, who came forth truthfully to say this happened, who came forth truthfully to say that I know Kavanaugh was lying. Right? I know, because I know that people who don't take lie detector tests are lying. I know that people who don't want FBI investigations are lying. And I know that a woman named Blasey Ford, who wants a FBI investigation, who took a lie detector test and passed. I know that those people are truthful. I know it. I don't care if anybody else knows it, but I know it. And a lot of people know it. It will get better. It really will get better. And the politics will reflect that. As we move into the future, the powerless will start flexing their own muscles. It is very much like the meek inheriting the earth, except that we are not so meek now. We have to go forward with some kind of strength. A new kind of strength that nobody really understood existed before. Right? Don't hesitate to go those places where people never ever thought of before. Don't stop yourself. Speak your truth if you can, when you can, where you can, as effectively as you can. And don't worry if you make some mistakes. That's okay. They might bring you to the place that you need to go. And for God's sake, don't criticize yourself, right? Just dismiss that and spend the next month of your life, and any kind of self-criticism comes in, you just dismiss it and replace it with, hey, I learned something I didn't know today. That's the only criticism that you are allowed to have for the next month. You're not allowed to say you did something wrong. That is forbidden. And if you do that, stop yourself, right? Don't let that happen. We are great people. All of us are great people. We have so much to contribute to America, to the earth, to our existence, to spirit. We're all there. We're all together. We're all working towards the same goal of understanding ourselves in this very specific body that we have here. And ultimately, that is going to be good, even if some of the spots along the way are painful. There's one other way to justify pain, and that is to say it's the extreme opposite of the happiness that you're also going to feel, right? And you would not really appreciate that happiness so much if you didn't also experience some terrible pain. I know that this is a bitter pill to swallow, right? It's hard to accept that, but at the same time, we want to make it into our own gold. We can change things and make them good for us because we decide about that. We choose that. Okay, Spirit just wants you to feel this love right now. Feel this golden circle of energy that is floating above you in space. Feel it surrounding you. Feel its love. Let out anything else right now into it. You can cry, shout, whatever. Just let it out into the golden space that circles you. Let that energy take whatever's negative away from you, because you know that energy, it can take it all and it can transform it all into something good. All right. Is there anything else that can really help right now? Just this loving energy. Just go ahead and feel it. Feel it throughout. Understand this has nothing to do with Dave Johnson, the person. This is the energy from above. It is spirit. You don't have to be face to face with Dave. Just feel this. It's always there. You can always access it. As long as you're a decent person, you can always access that. And if you think you're not a decent person, take a careful look. You probably are, right? Okay. Well, I feel like this is energy is good, and this is where we should stop here, just with this energy. For those of you who have watched this video, I want to first of all say that I am deeply sorry that many of the people in our government have ignored you. I am deeply sorry that you've been treated so badly by a bunch of, frankly, old white men, right? I suppose there are a couple exceptions. Remember also that Murkowski voted her conscience, right? So there are people on the Republican side who really are honest, fair, and good, right? Let me personally apologize to you for the way that you have been treated. And, walk in beauty. Thanks for watching. If for some reason you feel like you want to make a donation to me, please do not make such a donation. I would rather you give that money now to someone that makes you feel like you have some kind of agency. Remember, you don't need to donate a lot of money to someone to feel like you have agency. Take $1 and give it to the political candidate of your choice. Take $1 and give it to the Association to Prevent Child Abuse. Give $1 to any progressive candidate that you need. It is the energy of what you're doing, right? And again, I want people to know when I channel 20% of what I do, 20% of my time and my money and my efforts goes to good causes. I don't do that because I'm Mr. Nice Guy. I do that because Spirit told me that that's what I need to do for the love to go around, right? So if you're thinking Dave Johnson is Mr. Wonderful Guy who did all this thing, you're wrong. It's not me. It is Spirit, and I'm just doing what I am obliged to do in order to continue this work. Thanks so much.